Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/GoldenBoot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of HBCU Out. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. And welcome to day 6 of Black History Month, where we're gonna celebrate Black History all year anyway. But anyway, what's good, my boy? How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there. Can't complain. But again, like I said, happy Black History Month. We are going to celebrate all month, all year, actually. We might not put up the different graphics, but we're going to celebrate. Today, Jack Johnson, first black heavyweight boxing champion. During the height of the Jim Crow era, 1908, Jack Johnson won in the 14th round by stoppage, won the heavyweight championship bout, becoming the first black heavyweight champion in boxing, and then held on to it for 8 years. So shout out to Jack Johnson.
Man, he ended up going to jail for something after that a little while later, and he actually ended up patenting a wrench that became known as the monkey wrench.
Is that true? I always heard. Is that true?
Yeah, he has one of the patents for it. When I went to the Muhammad Ali Museum, they had something in there about him.
Okay. Jack Johnson, man. I always think about Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I always think about that when I think about Jack Johnson. But also, man, hey, money. Help us hit 1K. You help us hit 1K, you can win $100. If you've already subscribed, well, go ahead and subscribe to do that. If you've already subscribed, recommend a friend, refer a friend. Let us know that you referred that friend, and you and that friend will be entered for $100. So more people you enter, the more chances you get. It's nice. Dave Irvin, this thing said first. What's good, Dave? Yeah, you right about that third comment. I'm not gonna read it aloud.
Oh man. Yep, that's what he went to jail for, though, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But let's get started, man. The SWAC put out softball preseason awards and predictions. And predictions about the order of finish. They thought this year in the Western Division, it was voted that Prairie View will come out of the West, Alabama State will come out of the East. I don't know if we got much, if you got much on input on. I tell you what, I do know Alabama State has a really good softball team. That's because I used to see them. So when I used to live in my barber like was literally across the street from the practice field, and yeah, them girls was good.
I don't know. I don't know much about softball, so I believe these posts for now.
Yeah. And then you had the other player awards, preseason player awards. You got the preseason player of the year is Kendall DeRamus for Alabama State. The preseason pitcher of the year is Jasmine Gendorf. I hope I said that right, from Texas Southern. And then the first team. I don't know if I want to go down this whole list, but
Nah.
if you want, you know what I'm saying, if you're watching on YouTube, we have the list up. If not, Google is free, according to Aunt Betty Murphy. So
It is. It is free for now, foreseeable future.
yeah. But yeah, so softball season starts this week, so that it'll be good to go ahead and start catching up on softball, man. Softball does start this week.
Baseball.
Baseball. Speaking of baseball, the Cactus Jack Baseball Classic next week.
Yes, sir. Next Friday, man. Out there in Houston, they got I think 9 games. I think 6 different HBCUs. Most of them SWAC schools, but
Right.
all of them are SWAC schools.
Right.
My bad. But yeah, so 6 SWAC schools. Prairie View, Grambling, Southern, Mississippi Valley, Jackson State, and I think Texas Southern is the last one. But yeah, so
that's correct.
it should be some good baseball and a good way to kick off baseball season in the SWAC.
Yeah, we talked about this early on, and I was saying that my only gripe, and I get why it is, I would have loved to see some different, you know what I'm saying, like some MEAC or maybe some SIAC schools or something like that play. But I understand why logistically it's probably not that feasible to make that happen. So because if you look at it, everybody playing is pretty much in the
everybody playing is 5-hour drive or less. You know what I'm saying?
So that stands out. But sticking with baseball, Coach, I'm gonna mess this up. Is it Kador?
Yeah, Kador.
Kador and Ricky Weeks inducted into the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir. Ricky Weeks, the GOAT, the only HBCU player to ever win the Golden Spikes Award, which is the award for the best player in college baseball. So, Ricky Weeks was really a different level when he was playing, man. So he's well deserved for those two.
Yeah, so kudos to them. Baseball season is still, basketball season is still ongoing. And
it's getting a little heated at the top, man.
I'm gonna just say this. my thoughts of how I tried to do last week games. I was like 2 or 7. But it was 1 or 2 of the ones that I picked that I was like, okay, yeah, this I did good. So it was Grambling beat down Alabama State at the Don Oliver Acadome, 73-60. Pine Bluff went to Alcorn and lost a close one. Lost by 3, 67-70. FAMU went to Texas Southern and came out with the win of 76-69. Alabama A&M took on the SWAC leading Southern Jaguars and took them down in a new pretty facility, that TM Elmore Gymnasium, that athletic facility. Listen, I keep telling y'all that facility is nice. I don't think that's what you call it, but anyway, A&M won 82-61. Mississippi Valley came out with the dub over Jackson State, 82-78. That was actually kind of surprised for me. That one in the A&M game. I picked A&M, but I wasn't expecting it. And then Bethune. This was another one.
Yeah.
Bethune. Reggie Theus, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I told you, man. Riverboat Richard, man.
He said he got something to prove. He went in there and took down Prairie View, 58.
Yeah. Bethune sliding up the rankings and SWAC. I mean, they still middle of the pack of ways, but
Right.
they've been making a race up the rankings. But that battle at the top finna get real interesting, man.
Very, very interesting. In the Legacy Classic out in Utah, Morgan State beat Delaware State 75-65. Ended Delaware State 2-game winning streak. Because Delaware State, they had been struggling for a while. They started making a little run, trying to, but Morgan State went ahead and put a halt to that. Norfolk State took down Hampton 83-71.
Pretty convincingly.
Very convincingly, yeah. So Norfolk State is still, they are right now, they are my favorite to come out of the MEAC.
I don't know, man. I know
the other little school, but
you got Maryland Eastern Shore and you got Howard.
I keep forgetting because Maryland Eastern Shore been.
Yeah, them and Howard both only got one loss. Norfolk State only has 2, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Howard, man. I like what I saw when I watched them play. They're a scrappy team, man. I'm gonna go with Howard.
Yeah. So I talked about Alabama A&M's facilities. Well, our good friend Miss Black College Experience on Twitter. If you get a chance, go check her out. She toured the facility, and I didn't get permission from her, so I'm not gonna play a video. I actually don't get permission from nobody when I play their video. But so I ain't gonna do. Saying y'all go to her page. Y'all go to her page and check it out. She toured their new facility, athletic facility. It is a game changer.
Yeah,
it is definitely a game changer. I was gonna say jetted tubs or I forget athletic. I guess you say athletic whirlpools. For recuperation. The medical staff, the tables and stuff, as far as like how it's set up, everything is set up. It's set up to like you go in there, you can, if you close your eyes, well, I ain't gonna say close. If you take and cover up all the logos in there, you can walk in there and you can confuse it with a lot of Group of 5 schools. So even some Power 5. So
that's the reason why Shannon Sharp didn't say their name whenever he was bringing up schools when he was talking about facilities.
That's true.
Shouldn't have brought up Prairie View neither, honestly. But
he really shouldn't have, because Prairie View has beautiful, beautiful facilities. But yeah, man, that is, saying shout out to them. And I do know they got some more things coming. Coach Maynard finna have his way as well, so he finna get some improvements on his side as well. So be on the lookout for that. All right, moving on. So, coming soon. Moving on to football. Looks like Bethune-Cookman has their man.
Yes, sir.
In a tweet and delete, Raymond Woody announced that he was going home. He's gonna be the new coach at Bethune-Cookman. However, he did take it down.
They came out. They announced today though that they Bethune officially announced today that he's their guy. So I'm
I saw they say it was waiting on. They were gonna make an official announcement.
Yeah, it came out today.
It came today. Okay,
yeah,
so there you go. Boom.
It came out today that they and somebody said the contract has been signed. So I don't know if that was some shade or if they was just stating the fact, but. So it looked like they got that guy. It looked like he's somebody who wants to be there. Obviously, he's an alum.
Right.
He's had some experience at a few Power 5 schools and some other schools in the Florida area. So
yes,
it looks like a well.
You ready for this?
Guy.
You ready for it? Because I did a little preparation. Raymond Woody, BCU alum with 25 plus years experience. He started off at the high school level, then moved up, and he basically mainly worked with Willie Taggart. Following Willie Taggart where he went. So he had stops at Western Kentucky, USF, Oregon, Florida State, And he
FAU.
mostly was either FAU. He was either a defensive coordinator or a linebackers coach. And mostly everywhere he was a linebackers coach. So
he was also an All-American when he played at All-American. I mean at Bethune-Cookman, yeah.
Yeah. So look for linebacker play to vastly improve. I'm not saying it was terrible or it was bad last year, but when you have that much experience, look for it to improve. You know, especially with that being his specialty.
Yeah.
But Bethune-Cookman wasn't the only team, excuse me, the only school that got a head coach. Morehouse got their man. Morehouse hired alum Gerard Wilshire as their head football coach. He comes in. He was a 4-year letterman when he was at Morehouse. He's an alum with 30 years coaching experience. He had stopped at Delaware State, Seton Hill, not Seton Hall, Seton Hill, Rice, Cornell, UMass, and more. So they both schools getting a coach who are, you know,
familiar with the school,
alums, coaching experience, extensive coaching experience.
Yeah.
Coach Wilshire, he was actually been at Rice for the last 5 years as the cornerbacks coach. So be on the lookout for that. So
yeah, man, it's a lot of a lot of alums going back to their old stomping grounds.
Yes, sir. Several. So now if we look at it, across the SWAC, MEAC, SIAC, if you look at it, you've got these two gentlemen that we just named, Mr. Coach Raymond Woody and Gerard Wilshire. Then you've got Eddie Robinson at Alabama State. You've got
TC, Mississippi Valley coach.
Yeah. TC at Jackson.
Yeah.
Mississippi Valley. I can't think of his name.
I forgot his name too.
I keep wanting to say Dancy, and that's
I keep wanting to say the running backs coach because I just saw an interview with him today. Oh, what's that man's name? But yeah, so it's a lot of, and it ain't just if you go down to like the SAIC,
Aaron James at Tuskegee.
Yeah, it's a lot of them, man. And I think it's kind of their way of not necessarily gatekeeping, but of making sure that whoever they put in charge knows. Kendrick Wade. Thanks, Chuck. Kendrick appreciate Wade, that, man.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's not necessarily gatekeeping in my opinion, but it's their way of making sure that they have somebody put in place who understands the struggles that come with being in a football program at HBCU and somebody who kind of knows what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm gonna tease a little story we'll talk about on Thursday. Eddie George did an interview with Shannon Sharp on his podcast. And Eddie George mentioned today that with him coming from Ohio State, he doesn't fully understand, everything about Tennessee State or HBCUs as a whole. So that's why his approach is a little bit different from what we've seen from Coach, Coach Sanders and Coach Reed. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on Thursday. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that he brought that up.
Jason Brumfield says, so is Bethune-Cookman going to fix the facilities? All right, so there was a video that came out. I don't know if it was supposed to come out, but there was a video that came out where the athletic director, the president, and some former players from Bethune-Cookman met with the current players and, kind of heard some of their concerns and kind of gave some advice and encouragement to the current players about the situation at the end. But in that meeting, Reggie Theus, athletic director, and Dr. Drake, the interim president, both made some announcements that there would be upgrades made. They said that $3 million to the improvements to the locker room for the at the stadium that they play in, and that they're trying to get the ball rolling for on campus practice facility. So I'm not sure you can take it for what it's worth. That's just what they've said. We obviously haven't seen anything, come from that, but they said that the locker room will be ready before the season starts. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that comes true. But according to those people in charge at Bethune-Cookman, they have some things in place that are already supposedly been bid and things of that nature to get the ball rolling to get started. So we'll see. But I'm not sure if we can, do anything other than take the word of the president and the AD at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look it up. Somebody actually brought up an article because not just the athletic facilities. I want to say it was like a $1 million project was being ongoing as well on Bethune-Cookman for the dormitories and stuff to help improve the dorms and build more dorms as well. So there are things coming down the pipeline at Bethune-Cookman. And I know the next question is going to be somebody's going to ask, did Ed Reed, push this and stuff? I think some of it, the embarrassment and some of that stuff did help kind of speed some of this along or help some of this come out. But I believe a lot of this was probably already in works, seeing how quick it's being announced now. So
yeah, I think that was just Ed Reed just exposed the lack of communication between the administration and those who are in charge of getting things done and the students and the public. And I think that Bethune-Cookman realizes that and is trying to do a better job of being more transparent and, and being more open in their communication.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is a tea, Arizona tea I'm drinking because I know somebody gonna hit me up like, yeah, why is you drinking beer? Oh no, I don't. I'm bougie. I don't drink beer out of can. This is something that came up this week and kind of in conversation. I thought it was interesting. It is now it's something that Dion brought up as well during his time at Jackson State. Home games versus classic / neutral site games. I was talking with Ken Clark from the 1400 Club, Jackson State's, so one of their premier podcasts. Shout out to those guys over there. When it comes to home games, we saw last year, Grambling A&M, Alabama A&M had like 4 home games.
Grambling had 4, I think.
Yeah, I know Grambling has 4 this year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They had 4 last year too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the crazy part about it, there was actually like a month span in between, some of those home games as well. Talking with Ken, and he was saying that Jackson State plays like their first 5. They have like 5 games before they even have a home game. Yeah, to start the season. That is rough. Granted, I understand. I can kind of see a reason why it happened back in the day. But now is it time to, I'm not necessarily say get away from classics, but is it time to start looking more towards having more home games and more home and home series versus actually just doing the
yeah, we talked about this before. Like I'm looking at Gramblin's schedule right now. Gramblin's last home game of the season is October 28th versus Bethune, and they have 3 games after that, all the way. Well, obviously one of them is the Bayou Classic, and then they have the Alabama State. They have the Port City Classic in Mobile. So they have 2 classics after their last home game. So we talked about this all the time, man. And I don't know if there's a right answer. I think there's points to be made to both sides because you could have prime example Bayou Classic. I'm just use that one. All right. True enough, Grambling and Southern would make more money most likely if the games was on their campuses. But the problem is, in my opinion, how many people would come if the game was in Grambling versus how many people attend when the game is in New Orleans. Being that it's in New Orleans, it becomes a destination event. You know what I mean? You're not just going for the game, you're going for the city and everything that comes with going to New Orleans. That's not happening if it's in Grambling. It's not happening to that same extent if it's in Baton Rouge. So I think while they could make more money, the trade-off is are you gonna make more money because are as many people gonna come? You see, so I feel like you got to find that fine balance of what. Now I feel like some of these classics could be done away with and become home and home because not all of them have that kind of draw anymore. So I feel like you got to kind of take it on a case by case basis. I would love for the Bayou Classic to be a home and home. I just don't ever see that happening.
When you look at the Gulf Coast Challenge and stuff, you have Alabama A&M plays the game, and this year you got Alabama State as well that's going to play a game in Mobile. Mm-hmm. I love my city. Y'all, yeah, you know, I always, you know, say 2-5-1, this, that, and other. I'm be honest, I'd rather see more, you know, home and home. Or if we're gonna play games in Mobile, let's bring some more teams. I mean, I understand why Alabama, because you know that's a big recruiting base. It's a lot of my friends went to Alabama A&M. A lot of my friends went to Alabama State. So Mobile is a big recruiting base for that. But I would love to see Southern play Texas Southern or something like that. You know, I mean, granted, that again, that takes away somebody else's home and home. But if you can start rotating some of this stuff, which is one of the reasons the challenge, the why they call it a challenge instead of a classic. When Kevin Ball was on, he told us that so they can actually rotate opponents.
But see, if just using your example, if they would have did Southern versus Texas Southern in Mobile, how many people would go to that game? You see what I'm saying? So like,
I mean, I get it.
You got you got to factor that part in. It don't make any sense to have that game. It would cost more than they would make. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that fine line, bro. And I get it, but what's stopping it from being a classic? What's stopping this from still being the Bayou Classic if it's just played on a home and home?
The Bayou Classic when it was forced to go to Houston, unfortunately.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, I don't really see how being in New Orleans makes it the classic. I think you can still market it as the classic no matter where it's at, because the classic is Southern versus Grambling, and it's not the Superdome that makes it the classic. I just don't know if we'll ever get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I understand. I partially understand some of it, but that home and home. I know there are some kids who would love to know what it's like to play at Alabama State or what it's like to play at Alabama A&M versus we're gonna meet up in Birmingham and play this game.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, some of that is the fan base too, because like if you like the Jackson State Alcorn like rivalry, they don't want that being a home and home. They don't want to go to Alcorn. You know what I mean? Jackson State alumni don't. You know what I mean? They don't. Mm-hmm. So some of that is on us, the fan base. That's true. What I'm saying? The fan base has to want home and homes and has to want to do away from the classic, and you know what I mean, and the fanfare and everything that comes with it. Because that's what it's not just about the game; it's about everything that comes with it. It's about the parties that they have, and you know what I'm saying, all that comes with these classics.
I completely agree. I'm gonna tell you another thing that's hurting these classics and stuff, and don't kill me. Some of y'all don't kill me when I say this. Janky promotions.
Yeah.
Not all classics are run with janky promoters, but we have seen and heard stories about how some of this stuff is plays out. Stadiums not necessarily being able to fill up, you know what I'm saying, but people can't get in the stadiums, and media members having problems getting access to the game, all kinds of stuff, man. It's just, yeah.
And so Jason says, I feel like people would travel for a home and home Bayou Classic. That tailgate would be lit. And I don't disagree, but I've talked to plenty of people who said, oh, I come once just to see what it's like on Grambling campus. You know what I mean? But I ain't trying to go to that country. You know what I'm saying? I've heard plenty of people say that. And so that's the thing. Like, is it worth getting rid of it just because that first time on campus is gonna be you know what I'm saying?
With the infrastructure supported though. That's
another
another
thing.
big issue.
That's another then that's the thing. 15 games down to 15 times through the cycle of home and home. Is it still gonna be a big draw, or people gonna be tired of making that drive? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you gotta look at the long term, not just the first couple times would be lit, and it would be, but I don't know if it's beneficial over the long term to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly what we're saying, Dave. He said people go to the Bayou to go to the city too. It's so much surrounding that game that it wouldn't be the same. I agree.
Exactly, bro. People make it the whole Thanksgiving weekend. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just.
Yeah, I think another thing that hurts. FCS, they only play 10 games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You got to throw a money game in there. Then you have X number of classics. That's another thing that's hurting. So, yeah. But we can move on, man. Because we can talk about that all night. After not making the playoffs last year, FAMU decided to update their schedule by playing multiple D2 schools.
Not one, but two. I guess you could say that FAMU is putting all their hey, chill out, bro. But I guess you could say Willie Simmons is putting all his eggs in the Celebration Bowl basket this year.
Okay.
I guess they looking at it like it don't matter if we're in the Celebration Bowl, because the problem was, one of the reasons people said that FAMU got left out of the FCS playoffs last year was because of their schedule, their strength of schedule. And playing a D2 school doesn't count for your, towards your strength of schedule. So playing not one but two would really damper your strength of schedule.
Playing the D1 obviously don't need. I mean, playing the FBS don't either. That's the fun thing. If you win,
that's the thing. Like, I get what you're saying, but they played one FBS and it basically canceled out by playing a D2.
Mm-hmm.
So all they played was substandard FCS based off the rankings, because the SWAC wasn't that strong last year. So the point is, you don't really have this year. You're gonna cancel it out again and some. So it's basically you're hurting your case for making the playoff. So that's why I feel like they looking at it like we're gonna be in the Celebration Bowl, so it don't really matter. Now, if they don't win the East, they can't be mad at nobody but themselves if they don't make the playoffs.
That's gonna be.
At this point, you gave the committee all the ammunition they needed by playing two D2 schools. So that's all they got to say is look at your schedule.
Yeah. I learned something new today. I was today years old. There's a German football league.
Yeah, I didn't know this neither.
Former Grambling State and Tennessee State quarterback Jeremy Hickbottom signs with the Cologne Crocodiles of the German Football League.
I didn't know nothing about this, bro. But kudos to him on continuing his career. Best of luck to him, and maybe he can make his way back to the States and get a chance to play in one of these new leagues over here.
Mm-hmm. I miss old NFL Europe.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, but that was when I saw it. It's pretty interesting. So I'm about to look more into it. But I do want to say this is it. This is another avenue for HBCU players who want to continue playing football to find if they don't necessarily get picked up by the NFL. Here's another league they can prove their talents and showcase their talents and possibly still make the NFL eventually. So looking forward to it, you know what I'm saying? But best of luck to him. Texas Southern is getting a new DC, or it looks like they're getting a new DC. This was first reported. I first saw a shout out to SWAC and the Food. Says sources say that former Grambling State DC Everett Todd is looking to go to Texas Southern.
Everybody gonna have a former Grambling coach on their squad by the end of the season, I guess.
Yeah, Grandma got all them coaches, and it's like, what tree? We talking about, saying who they fall under, but
somebody.
Yeah, kudos to them.
About 6 different people.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, this next story. All right, we're gonna tread lightly on this one.
Very.
But let me say this. This story happened about a month ago. There wasn't much coverage on it. I didn't even see it. As a matter of fact, I didn't even see it or hear about it until today. But level 10 gymnast Leah Davis is leaving or had left Fisk University's gymnastics team due to what she called bullying and hazing. We actually have her statement here. She said in the statement, "It is with a heavy heart that I announce that I am no longer a member of the Bulldog gymnastics team and my withdrawal from Fisk University. I had high expectations of myself in hopes of making a significant impact in the world of gymnastics as a member of the first intercollegiate gymnastics team at any historically Black college or university. The irresponsible actions of the administration in not addressing my documented issues of bullying and hazing has forced me to make a safety and mental health a priority. I wish the team much success in Las Vegas, and I look forward to competing again very soon." She did ended up transferring to Long Island University.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't. Fisk University said pretty much it's an internal
it's an internal matter, and they cannot comment.
So I hate that this has happened. I hate that the story is even coming up now, especially with all the success that Fisk has going forward. And I wish all parties involved can find some kind of resolution. I mean, it's unfortunate she's already left.
My problem is with the timing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of them situations to where it should have been made a story when it first happened, but obviously that was the day before they competed in the Super 16, and so I kind of wonder if it was kind of, I'm not gonna say swept under the rug, but it was kind of put on the back burner because of the historic moment that was about to happen. And after that they competed, the amount of coverage and positive publicity they were getting, if they just didn't want to kind of overshadow that, but that's kind of unfair to her, in my opinion, for her to kind of be, I'm not gonna say silenced, but kind of overshadowed by, what I'm saying, what the rest of the team was going to do following her departure. I do wish that it would have been reconciled and she would have been able to compete with her team. I hope that it's something that gets resolved and no one else has to go through what she, claims she went through, and I hope it's something that doesn't. It's an unfortunate situation and it needs to get the attention it deserves, but I also hope it's not something that lingers and we keep it hanging over the heads of the rest of the young women who are, trying to compete and go through that season.
Yeah. When I saw or heard the story, because me and you were talking about it, it was like, hey, this story's been out, and I kept looking for it. I saw a Reddit post and a blog site.
Yeah, I saw one. I think it was some like MIAC website that had something about
the blog.
That was the blog. And then I saw like 3 or 4 gymnastics websites.
Okay.
That had something about it, but nothing HBCU related until today, obviously. Wow. So yeah, I'm not trying to, call out anybody for their for their coverage or lack of coverage on it, but I just want to be fair to both the young lady who left the team and the young women who are still on the team, and and kind of cover it in the correct way to not put one of them over the other.
Yeah, I completely agree. Me personally, when we had to have the conversation last week about the SWAC's lawsuit with the Urban Edge Network, I don't necessarily like these stories.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say not necessarily. I don't like these stories. But what kind of podcast would we be if we only brought y'all all the glory and all the happiness and didn't tell you, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that's, really going on. So I just feel like, you got to be real, you know what I'm saying? So you got to grow up and be real. So
it's unfortunate that we got to have these kind of conversations, though.
Yeah, it is. But we can move on. The SWAC. I'm sorry. I said the SWAC. Southern wins the SWAC regular season bowling title. So
I wanted to.
I'm trying to remember who won the tournament last year. It was I know it was Alabama State and
I don't remember.
I want to say it was Jackson
I've slipped
State.
since then. I've slipped a lot since then. But I just I wonder, do they just go bowl every day for practice? Like, what was this whenever I was in high school? Why we didn't have no bowling team and stuff like that?
Yeah, so
I could have got a scholarship on bowling. Do they have men's bowling?
No, they don't.
Title IX.
I actually did do a bowling class in college.
Oh yeah, Easy A, huh?
What, man? I had the best form. I was out the thing rolling turkeys. But yeah, that was Alabama State won it last year. So that's who won it last year.
What was your highest score?
215, something like that.
Oh nah, yeah, you killing me. Man. Be quiet.
It was like at one point I was decent. I was good. Man, I'd be glad if I rolled 2 non-gutter balls right now, man.
I mean, 215 though, that's pretty legit, bro.
Hey, I was decent. I was decent. Yeah, but I didn't roll I would throw it down the lane.
You want to know? You want to know?
Let it get a little air. Hit that center. Boom. Already there. So
it's about right.
Should I say I would love to be in a bowling league.
Man, for real though, bro.
Man, them people too serious, man.
Man, I got a coworker that's in the bowling league. He got his own balls, shoes, and everything. Talking about going to get his ball replugged and everything. Yeah, you too serious for me, man.
I'm trying to see who. I know Alabama State won the tournament last year. I'm trying to see. Oh, is that the tournament? No, that was
I don't know. I don't know how bowling works, bro. I don't know if they got a regular season and a tournament, or if they just got.
They do have a tournament. Yeah, they do have a tournament because they do like Final Four and everything.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. They do like March Madness. They go through the same thing. Yeah, last year it was Alabama State and Southern, and Alabama State won.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but they do because I'm gonna tell you how I found out about SWAC bowl or that bowling period NCAA. The national championship one year was like Alabama A&M and like Cal.
So random.
It was very random, but it's like
yeah,
go through the whole. And Cal mopped the floor with Alabama A&M. God, they beat them so bad that I was like, because I was, so let's go.
Yeah.
So we got HBCU in there.
Nah, not that year.
Not that year. Man, it was just like
maybe this year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this year.
Maybe so. Get Pete Weber in that thing coaching. That. Speaking of that,
get my boy Mookie Betts to coach him. Mookie a dog.
Yeah, I be laughing at like them celebrity bowling.
Hey, Mookie a dog though, for real. Speaking of dogs from the West Coast, you heard me?
Yeah. Ooh. Listen, that's one of my favorite. Listen,
That dude, bro.
when I heard this next story, only thing I kept thinking and saying to myself, sprinkle me, man, sprinkle me, sprinkle me, sprinkle me. That was my jam. That and tell me when to go.
Yeah. Tell me when to go.
Yeah. Jesus Christ had dreads, so shake them. I ain't got none. I'm thinking about growing some. But if you hadn't heard, E40 made a sizable donation to Grambling State's music program. I know this ain't football related. I know this ain't sports related, but hey, it's about the bands. And we all know bands is just as big a part of HBCU as anything else.
Yeah,
But
got a studio over there now in the G, man. Thanks to the boy E40, man. He came through, dropped a bag on the band program, toured around campus and everything. Yeah, he went toured around campus and met the band and kind of showed them some little things. But it's the first of many of what I think from what I've heard, it's the first of what many contributions to what Grambling Band may be seeing in the future. So we'll see. But yeah, shout out to E40, man.
Favorite E40 song or saying?
Probably tell him when to go. His favorite saying? Ooh, I don't know. It's too many of them, bro.
I'm waiting on I'm hoping Too Short drop a bag on somebody. We
so
all know his favorite. What's his favorite word?
Yeah, this one, that's a good one. Dusted and Disgusted was a good one. But shout out to you seen Yard Talk. She posted some raps from E40 whenever he was on Grambling campus, rapping about Charles Adams and Coach Robinson, which that was pretty dope, man. That was pretty dope. Shout out to E40, man. Yeah, legend.
Sugar. That's my sister. Man, I used to love that sprinkle me, man. But man, shout out to him. So, but that's not the only big musical news we got today.
Yeah.
TSU band, all soulful, won a Grammy for gospel. That's
yes, sir.
That's Tennessee State, not Texas Southern. I'm sorry.
Yeah, our boy Chuck came through with the info. Tennessee State marching band won a Grammy last night for Best Roots of Gospel album for their album Urban Hymnal. Yeah, so did real big representing the HBCUs, man, and putting on for all the HBCUs last night. Congratulations to them. The video of their band watching it and celebrating whenever there was announced, man, that was dope, bro. And it gave me chills, man, to see that. So big things for HBCUs doing big things. I know it's a lot of negative publicity and it's a lot of bashing going on these last few months and all that, but that don't change the fact that they doing big things, winning Grammys, getting $90 million research grants and all kind of other big things, man. So y'all can hate all y'all want, but y'all ain't stopping the progress HBCU's doing.
Not at all. So I don't know if I got much more to add to that. That was actually a very good synopsis, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. I don't know. I ain't got much more.
We can leave on that note. We'll see y'all Thursday, man.
Yeah, we'll be back Thursday. I do know one of the topics, like we said, we'll be talking about Eddie George, his approach.
Great interview, by the way.
Great interview with Shannon Sharp. So, hey, we'll see what we're gonna leave out on tonight.
Let's bottom parlay.
I gotta add bottom parlay. I gotta add bottom parlay. Yeah, we on the new what you call it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll go out on this. All right, like that. We out.